Huh.
All right. Hi, folks. It's January 2nd. It's been close to 2 weeks since I've been out here doing this. So this has been sitting for a long time. I've just reviewed the videos as best I can tell. I had just done a sanding with 220 and 320 and then one coat, which was the fourth coat. I'm going to do a pretty quick level with 320 and see. Then I was thinking about this. I think I'm going to try not to put it on as thick. It's kind of putting it on thick and then more or less brushing it out, you know, with the grain. Of course, not using a brush, using paper towels. And so it's leaving, you can see these, it's leaving these ridges where it's high from the paper towels, and it wasn't leveling as much as I anticipated. So I'm going to try, I might have to just flatten it out again really good. I'm going to try to just kind of do a padding type thing like you might do with French polish. Although this is glue, so it could get tricky. It could end up with a bunch of paper towels stuck in the surface. So in a situation like that, I would be better off not just letting it self-level to some degree and then sanding it flat after I had several coats on. So that's my thinking there. It's relatively flat right now, though it's got ridges in it. Some of those ridges I think are just in the wood, although they may not be. If I were doing a guitar, I would definitely not level sand this off often in between coats. I would run probably 4 coats to begin with and then level, and then maybe run another 4 coats and see. But you know, I'm just kind of guessing at this point because this is the first time I've messed with a super glue type finish, and I'm only 4 coats into it. And I've sanded between, I think I did 3 coats and then sanded and then did a 4th coat and I'm sanding again. So only because I want it to be fairly level to try this next type of application. Really is, and I mentioned it in the last segment, it really is obviously very hard as far as the finish goes. And I'm folding this paper towel up pretty small. I don't want to have a lot of surface touching. And I might even try at some point, and maybe not this test, but at some point try making up a rubber like you do with French polish and seeing how that works. Putting on my respirator. Take your glasses off first. a reminder of what I'm using here.
Yeah, it's
definitely dragging. Okay, I won't know until it has had a chance to dry a little bit, but I think I may have just replaced the long lines that with swirl lines, so it just doesn't go down that smooth, or I should say it doesn't flow out once it's down. And if I tried to mess with it any more than I just did, it's definitely going to have paper towel or cloth stuck in it if I were to use a polishing pad like a rubber. So that's it for this little segment. I didn't record coat 7, and I'm doing coat 8, and this will be the last coat. This will try to make it the last coat.
put it.
Put it on the respirator.
Oh, it's dragging. Yeah, try to get away with a little, not quite enough on here, I think. That 7 went down just fine. Alright, we'll leave that.
Well, I'm back. This has had a day or two to dry. It's got a total 8 coats on it, and I'm going to sand it starting with 320, 400, 600, 1000, and 1500, and then I'm going to take it to buff it. So we'll go ahead and start that. My granddaughter's in the room, so you may hear some talking in the background. Don't worry about it. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, there we go. And I may pass through some of this stuff. Anyway, so just so you know. what's happening. So tell us, Elizabeth, did you have ice cream today?
Yes, I did have ice cream. Mint chocolate chip.
Okay, good. What are you learning here at Grandma and Grandpa's house?
We are learning how to clean
Okay.
and then learn and then think.
You're learning how to take care of stuff and pick up after yourself and things like that?
Yeah, we're learning all of that.
Okay, yeah. No, you can't come around here. I don't want you on camera. Okay, we can hear your voice, but we don't want to see you.
Well, how does it put it on the phone?
It's not a phone, it's, you know, the videos like that Grandpa makes.
Well, I want to see the video.
Well, right now it's just a picture of me rubbing this piece of sandpaper on this wood here. Let's try this with some water.
It's a weird noise, right? It's a weird noise.
It's a weird noise, huh? Yeah.
Oh, there's more.
It's better with water, though.
There's another.
Yep. I have two of these little blocks.
Are they poisonous?
Poisonous?
Yeah.
No, they're not poisonous. They're not very tasty, though. I wouldn't eat one. We're going to skip the shiny spots for now, and we're going to go on to 400.
The 400 is JONAH. Can I go in the house?
Okay, still got some low spots. I'm probably not going to try to chase those out, and that's probably due to it's either that there's just went down rough or that there was a little bit of roughness in the wood before I started. But we go all the way back to the start. You remember we didn't do any grain fill. I didn't do any grain fill. And I think a lot of this will probably work itself out as we go through the grits. But so I'm not gonna get crazy about it right now. Okay, so we are done with the sanding and dry it off, and then I'm just going to run over to the buffer and buff it with my fine compound, and then I'll bring it back over and we'll discuss this. So I'm going to turn you off for a minute while I do that. Oh, they want to see. I did actually get all of the low spots in this area that I had left behind with the 320. They're all gone now. I got one little one right here, but everything else, the only shiny spots I got are up here where I didn't concentrate because I didn't want to go into raw wood. So, let's go buff it. All right, we're back and all buffed out. And you can see, if I get it in the light, well, too much glare there. It's pretty amazing on that. Now, I'm not going to tell you there aren't any imperfections. I started with 320 and I questioned myself on the wisdom of that, but I wanted to flatten it out fast. So I do actually see some little swirl marks that you can't see in the camera. I haven't done anything but buff it, and so I could go over it with some swirl remover and maybe get some of that out. But it looks excellent. So I got just a few minutes here left, and I want to talk about the process here a little bit. So the overall procedure, you saw, it's not like it's a huge thing. My main concern, if I were to do a whole instrument with this, is you have to find some goggles or something that you could really seal your eyes with. Swimming goggles, maybe. The toxicity of this stuff is really bad. So anyway, a lot of exposure, I'm sure, isn't healthy for you. Even with the respirator, without goggles, you still, it's still getting into your system, I suspect, through the eyes. So there's that issue, so there's a lot. I mean, you could run fans and that sort of thing to take care of that. So I'm not sure how practical it would be on a whole instrument. Just for myself, I might use it on something, like if I needed to do a peg head patch repair and I didn't want to go through all the waiting for lacquer to cure, that sort of thing. It might come in really handy for something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Wood turning, I'm thinking that if you had something spinning and you could just do a quick, really hard finish, on a handle or something, or on a turning project, a bowl, whatever. Yeah, it might be a pretty good finish for something like that. And I may try it on a guitar at some point. I've got one coming up that I'll probably stick with lacquer just because I haven't thought through a way that I could make this work over, say, a lacquer based sunburst, which is what I've got coming up on the next guitar. So just trying to look at it from different ways, different practical directions. I'm not sure just how practical it would be if I may talk about this in future videos if I do use it somewhere. It does a great job. I think that I know it's durable, so that's not the issue. Just I'm not sure how practical it would be to use on a complete instrument. So, but we'll leave it at that. I already mentioned headstock or other types of repairs. We know it works great for finish dings and things like that. We already knew that one. But anyway, that's it for this. I'm just about out of time here. So thanks, guys. Take care, and we'll catch you next time around.